This is Module 5, Gender and Social Stratification, which covers working women and men, gender, income, and wealth, housework, women's second shift. But before this discussion, let's have first the social stratification concept to understand this better as we relate with gender. A system, that social stratification, by which a society ranks categories of people in a hierarchy. That is why some people have more money, power, and prestige than others. And this is found in all societies, but varies according to what is unequal and how unequal it is. Carries over from one generation to the next. So it is universal but variable. And social stratification can be a class system, a caste system, or about meritocracy. Class system is both ascribed and achieved. You may be born poor, but you may be able to achieve something later on in your life. Caste system, however, is just purely ascribed status, wherein what you are born with, there's little or no social mobility based on your individual effort, and you will grow old like that. Meritocracy is achieved status, which is based on personal merit or demerit. Now, the class system, even if it's given to you by birth, you can possibly change anytime in your lifetime. In this particular diagram, divided into three parts, this pyramid, upper class here, the little portion, middle class, and the majority of the space is occupied by the lower class. And even these classes have subclasses. The richest of them all, upper class. There is even the so-called new rich and old rich. Lower upper class, okay? The upper middle class, the middle class, and the lower middle class. And now we have the so-called the rich among the poor, the upper lower class, the middle lower class, and the poorest of them all, the lower class. We have a term for that poverty in the Philippines. Mahirap pa sa daga or isang kahig, isang tuka. This shape depicts social stratification in least developed countries. Now, the Philippine class system, it's not in the form, but this is just a graph describing the average household size by class. At the national level, there are 5.7 class size, so more or less 5.7 people in a certain household. But the global middle class, here, 4.3 has the lowest number of people in their household, whereas the highest number of people are into extreme poverty. So you now know that number of people in a household may affect the class. Distribution of economic class by educational attainment of household head. Okay, so extreme poor, they don't have no grade completed here, and moderate poor 40%, so they will be 66%. They are both poor, just extreme and moderate poor. And here with the college graduate, let's go directly here, college graduate and postgraduate. More are in the global middle class. So the same middle class in other parts of the world, comparably the same, and they are economically secure. 47. So all in all, that's 89% if you have college diploma, or you even pursue after education postgraduate. or graduate studies, which are the PA297 are doing right now. Okay, so you also now know what to do with it. Major sector of household head by economic class. So those in agriculture can be found in extreme poverty because there are so many farm in the farming, like who do not have their own land and so on. And services, the global middle class have this. The caste system, it's from birth and determines the direction of a person's life, wherein families in each caste perform one type of work, like all are into farming, something like that, or all are into business, demands that people marry others of the same ranking. That may be to preserve wealth. This practice is rare. It can be found only in remote rural areas, like for example, in India, Indian parents select their children's future marriage partners often before the children reach their teens. And the caste system guides everyday life by keeping people in the company of their own kind, quote unquote, rest on powerful cultural beliefs. Now, the Indian culture is built on the Hindu tradition that doing the caste's life work and accepting an arranged marriage are moral duties. The meritocracy, on the other hand, the one social class can level up or down depending on merit or demerit. So the working class here, as increasingly stratified, it discards old seniority-based salary system. It adopts ability-based salary system. And there's that wide gap between professionals and managerial workers and between the rest of the workforce. Now, the social mobility can be vertical and can be horizontal. Vertical can be upward or downward movement from one social class to another, from lower to upper, for example, but can be because downward, like people move downward due to business failures, unemployment, or illness. Horizontal, it's movement within the same social class. So if you are tired of farming, you go fishing, you switch from one job to another, but you are still in the same social level. Now, gender stratification in everyday life is easy to see. Among female nurses assist male physicians, female secretaries serve male executives, female flight attendants are under the command of male airplane pilots. How are women excluded from certain jobs? By defining some kinds of work as men's work. Now, there is the so-called glass ceiling. It's a barrier that is not easy to see but blocks women's careers. Many people seem to feel that women don't belong at the top levels of a company. And this pervasive feeling can prevent women from being promoted. And this is in the United States. In 2010, uh, the result of a survey, jobs with highest concentrations of women, you can see, or the top 10 jobs, secretary or administrative assistant, over almost 3 million women, and over a million childcare workers, over a million receptionists or information clerk, and so on. In the Philippines, you can see in this graph, this is data in year 2015. You can see that there are the older women have uh, are in current are in employment than the younger ones, and even beyond. Okay, look at this age range. No? Gender, income, and wealth. So why do women earn less? In the US 2009, for every dollar earned by men, women earned about 77 cents. It is the type of work they do, largely clerical and service jobs, that lead to people perceive jobs with less clout as women's work. Now, the Philippine class system has this household head according to gender. Now, extreme poor, this one, 88.6% are headed by males. The more women are here just in the global middle class. Okay, so most of the families across economic class have male as head of the family. Now, the second shift, on average, women spend considerably more time doing housework than men. Regardless of employment or family status, women do more housework than men. So what effect do you think the added burden of housework has on women's ability to advance in the workplace? So while they have the career, when they go home, women will still do house chores for the children and even for the husbands. For percent distribution of currently married women aged 15 to 49 with cash earnings in the 12 months before the survey. But even with that, the husband has main control over the earnings, 4%. But of course, this will just be very good to budget, okay, for the women, for the wife, if the money is considerably more than enough. But if it's overdraft, it's a pain in the head.